Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, celebrating expression, fostering talent, and connecting the community to Columbus artists, performances, exhibitions, concerts, public art, and more at columbusmakesart.com. From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High, what happens when you pair a local celebrity and a talented creative? One-of-a-kind creations that support keeping programs and workshops accessible while building a creative community. This and more right now on Broad and High. Welcome to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. To set the stage for tonight's episode, we'll first revisit a Kate's Quick Bites segment from the archive. Take a listen to get some background on Wild Goose Creative, a hometown arts incubator. With me today is Sarah Barr, the Executive Director of Wild Goose Creative. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. I am having a fangirl moment being in Kate's kitchen doing quick bites. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, that makes me really happy to have a fangirl. It's pretty cool. Well, I'm just so excited to learn more about Wild Goose Creative. Why don't you tell me about the organization and the fun name? Is there a story there?
So Wild Goose Creative is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to build a creative community at the intersection of art, risk, and meaning. And the name behind Wild Goose came from its founders in 2006, where a group of like-minded creatives wanted to build, like I said, a community to appreciate the wild side of artists as well as the nurturing and nesting of the arts and career and building that creative community.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great juxtaposition of those two kind of goals.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about the recipe you've chosen and what we're going to make today?
So today we're going to make blueberry crisp.
Oh, yum.
It's a favorite of mine. I love entertaining in my home for family and friends, and this is a quick, easy thing that you can make for dessert and or a breakfast.
Right,
even.
with coffee the next day.
So good, so good.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. So why don't we get started with the list of ingredients?
Sure. The ingredients we'll need today are 4 cups of blueberries, and for the crisp topping, 1 cup of old-fashioned oats, a 1/2 cup of pecans, a 1/2 cup of almond meal, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and a 1/4 cup of olive oil.
I love that it's such a simple list of ingredients. I mean, these are really wholesome ingredients, and you'd have them already. You could just make this whenever you wanted.
Absolutely. That's what makes it so easy and accessible, right?
Great. So we've got our oven preheated to 350. What's the first step that we're going to do?
We're going to make the crisp topping.
Okay.
So
the best part.
The best part. It gets crunchy and it's divine.
Okay,
so we're going
great.
to start with our oats and mix the oats, pecans. You will add the almond meal.
Okay.
And then the olive oil.
Okay. Well, does the olive oil give it kind of an
kind of a earthy,
or?
rich flavor.
Yum.
And then maple syrup for sweetening.
Of course. Here we go. Okay. Do you want to give those a stir?
Sure. Then we mix it all up.
Oh, it's so simple, so fresh. Is this something you grew up making, or did you kind of come about this?
So I grew up, my family loved to garden, and we have fresh berries and fruits on our property, and this recipe is something that we would make often. And then just as I grew up, it just kept on going, right?
So
like it's
easy and
kind of an
delicious.
easy traditional,
I love that.
generational.
Yeah, treat.
Treat.
So while you're mixing that up, why don't you tell me a little bit more about the space at Wild Goose Creative?
So at Wild Goose, we have gallery space for artists to use, but we also have 3,000 square feet of event space.
Oh, wow.
We have a stage, ADA compliant restrooms, a sound system, a projector. We have a kitchen.
So you're equipped for events, really anything.
All kind of creative events. And we take pride in having accessible and affordable space within our gallery. And the backdrop is local artists.
Right, that sounds
displaying
perfect.
their works.
It really removes a barrier for a lot of people too, either to show their work or to have an event.
Yes, yes, and that's part of our mission.
That's the goal. I love it. That's incredible. All right, so getting back to the recipe, we've got our beautiful blueberries. What happens next?
We just put everything together.
So simple.
So let's put the blueberries in the bottom.
You don't have to prep the pan or anything?
Nope.
Just, oh my gosh,
Just
really is easy.
dump the blueberries in.
Great.
And you really can use any type of fruit that you would like, whatever you have on hand, you know, or whatever's in season, right?
nice.
You can. I have done pears, I've done blueberries and pomegranates, apples in the fall. You know, you mix the little
versatile.
spices into the topping, and you
Yeah.
can definitely
Just change it up.
change up.
Okay, so do I just sort of place
just
it on?
place it on top.
kind
There's
of
no
all
rhyme or
over?
reason.
Oh, so
just make sure
simple.
it's covered
Covering.
and
Okay.
even throughout the
This
throughout
topping
the dish.
smells incredible. I'm really looking forward
It
to
has
tasting
that olive oil like makes it hearty, but then it has
Yeah.
that sweetness and the crunch of the pecans are just. And then once it's done baking, the bubbly
Oh,
like
yeah, the
juices of the blueberries, it's just
Okay, so just kind of
Delicious.
give it a little even spread.
Yep,
Oh, it already looks so pretty and fresh. Okay, then we just pop it in the oven. How long does it bake for?
30 to 40 minutes.
All right, let's do it. Sarah, while that bakes, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what Wild Goose has to offer?
So Wild Goose has several programs and workshops available for the creative community. We collaborate with Heartland Bank and provide a business of art workshop every first Monday of the month where we bring
cool.
in arts professionals as well as the business sector to go over certain topics such as how to apply for an EIN or how to file for taxes.
Yeah, no, that's like incredible knowledge and resources for people who may not have access to it.
It is, and we also bring in professional artists to tell their story, to help with building, you know, just the marketing plan and all of the things that you need to be a creative professional.
Right, and be successful.
And be successful. We also have an arts incubator, which pairs a professional artist with someone who is looking to either start a side hustle or engage in more of a artistic career. And they have one-on-one sessions. We also have workshops available monthly for them to learn different topics such as budgeting and really giving the artist all the resources that they need to be successful.
That's wonderful, because I would imagine, you know, artists may not have the chance to kind of get those resources or learn that process of the business side, the marketing side. Like, such an incredible resource.
It is, and it allows artists to dive in professionally, but again, going back to our space that we have available, it allows them to do solo shows for the first time or collaborate with each other to do a exhibition, you know, a collaborative exhibition. And it's building a community.
Yeah, it sounds like it really is. That's amazing. Oh my goodness.
Blueberries are all bubbly.
Oh, it looks incredible. Smells equally amazing. Okay.
Oh, look at those
So
juices.
beautiful. So pretty. So colorful. Well, we waited patiently for it to cool a little bit, served it up into a dish. I'm going the dessert route with a little scoop of vanilla ice cream. A little extra fun. Should we give it a taste?
Let's do this.
Oh, I'm so excited. Looks wonderful. Smells amazing. So fresh and simple.
It's pretty darn good.
Crunchy topping, juicy blueberries. It's perfect and so simple and fresh and lovely. Just like you.
Aw.
Thanks for being here, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. It was a great pleasure, so thank you.
To learn more, find them online at wildgoosecreative.com. Made by Us is an annual Wild Goose Creative event that pairs a Columbus celebrity and a local creative, resulting in one-of-a-kind works that are auctioned off to power Wild Goose Creative's mission. The Broad and High team met with two of those pairs to get a peek into the creative collaboration. Our first segment features a designer and an entrepreneur. As you'll see, they are the perfect match to create an amazing piece of wearable art.
When you guys want to I can't imagine what my life would be without art. Art has played such a significant role in my life, just, giving me an outlet to kind of express myself. I think, and when you're growing up, I don't think you realize that you're actually searching for outlets, but a lot of your life is actually scheduled for you. You have practice at this time, you have school at this time, you have all these things that are kind of regimented. Art kind of allowed me to be free, right, and not have to do it under kind of some type of regimented schedule. Being able to, write lyrics, to perform, to engage with crowds, to, learn from other artists and their experiences and even the consumption of art.
My mother, she's always been into fashion. She was a fashionista. I mean, I was a tomboy. I was not what she expected because I'm her only girl. She was praying for a girl. She got me. I wanted to be a tomboy. So I think her just beating it in my head, it just clicked. And then my love for, I don't have sisters, so my love for the brothers and having brothers and wearing their clothes, I always have a tomboy aspect to when I'm dressing. I might put a hat on, I might put on a pair of tennis shoes. So I think that's what connects me to that is my brothers.
I'm a solo artist, so a lot of times I'm writing kind of by myself, recording by myself. This has brought me into not just collaborating with another musician, but another type of artist and understanding their process, understanding how they think, how they make decisions, their struggles, their ups, their downs, right? And then also bringing mine as well. And then realizing that at the end of the day, we are both here for one collective goal. And so we need to make sure that we work together to make that the best that it can be. And my idea, what I would have done may not be what Tracy would have done, and vice versa, but we can come to a middle ground. So it's been exceptional to kind of work outside of my traditional realm as it relates to art, but still something that I'm very passionate about, and we're gonna come up with something really amazing.
First of all, his name stood out, Mekadon, and then I saw that he was an athlete, musician, a writer, an attorney, a designer. So I'm like, designer, we would probably collaborate well together, So when I met him, come to find out him and my husband are already friends. So it's a small world.
First of all, we had some brainstorming sessions. So what do we want to create? She's a designer, she's an exceptional designer. I mean, I'm talking top of the line. And so, for me, I have a little bit of background in fashion. I modeled in New York for a long time, have kind of my own fashion lines that I've helped develop and build, not to her level, but so it's been amazing to kind of see her process, but we had to start off brainstorming. What is it that we want to do? Because there's so many different directions that we can go. So ultimately we decided on kind of a custom jacket. And I think that those are, if you think about just jackets in the history of kind of music, I mean, you could think of famous Michael Jackson jackets and Prince and maybe even Elvis, and the list goes on.
He was writing the book, and I was thinking about buckling and thinking my interpretation of what would that look like. I knew it was going to be a men's piece because I'm into men's fashion right now.
Jackets are a thing that have so much fashion. There's so many different opportunities. You're talking about zippers, you're talking about, colors, you're talking about sparkles, things that pop. So we decided that we could make something really cool in that realm. And with my song Buckle Up, we're experimenting on some maybe buckles, some fun stuff that way too.
It's gonna look very 3D. A lot of my work, I really like to use a lot of embellishments. I like to add pieces on to give it a 3D look or have some type of motion, or usually it's something you could take off and wear it one way or wear it another.
Art incubators like Wild Goose, any type of collaboration that involves art, it's so important. I think first and foremost, you're talking about community, building a community. And also, I think one thing that people don't realize about artists sometimes is that it can be very lonely because a lot of times your ideas are just yours internally and you don't necessarily have a lot of people to process them with. And then you have to go present them to the world and hope that the world consumes it the way you want them to consume it. And that could be kind of a very singular, lonely process. And then when you get around kind of these type of collaborations, you realize that, wow, there are a lot of other people out here who are also very talented, who are going through the same thing. And then not only just that, but then you're also able to draw inspiration from other people, from their stories, not even just the art that they create, but their stories, what they've been through, what they've seen, where they've traveled, where their inspiration came from. And it makes you start to look outside the box a little bit too and say, oh, you know what, maybe I can pull something from here, or I can pull something from here. And then ultimately, I think at the end of the day, you know, artists kind of make the world go around.
When you collaborate, I think there's an elevation. You know, you have two minds who are working together from two different backgrounds, and you take these two and you just get this explosion. I think, you know, it really makes the world go around, because you can only hear yourself talk for so long, you know what I mean? And then you're like, let me bring another element into my art. So in that way, I applaud Wild Goose Creative for bringing this together and making this happen, and just putting so many different artists who may not have worked together otherwise, just to come and create something beautiful for a good cause.
To see more of Tracy's work, find her on Instagram at GoGirlFlyFree. To find out about Mecca Don's latest venture, find him online at meccadonenterprises.com. Our second duo is made up of a multidisciplinary artist and a visionary. They came together to create a masterpiece that's a testament to the power of collaboration.
Art means to me, and the way I guess I can create art in my own little way, is by creating spaces that people in Columbus really want to go to. And that's really what gets me out of bed and has motivated me with Late Night Slice, is to create cool spaces that people want to come into, they want to take pictures of, they want to tell their friends about, they want to drag their friends in because they got to see this cool thing. For us, it's not about pizza, it's really not about booze. You know, I always say anybody can sell booze and anybody can sell pizza, but it's really about all the stuff we do around it, and the interiors of our spaces are specifically curated to really be a part of the experience of going to a Late Night Slice. So for me, a lot of the pieces that we bring in is just stuff that I find that is either locally, regionally, nationally, anything that I find that I think would enhance the space and make it look awesome is kind of how I create our spaces for late nights.
First time I met Mikey was during the meet and greet for Made by Us. We chatted a little bit just about like painting. We didn't really get to any ideas right there. I asked him like how he started with Mikey's, and that kind of got to the finished piece with like the idea of him carting people around on a pedal taxi people were out drinking and they were asking for like places to go to eat food. Then we hit on the idea of the things around the Late Night Slice that gets you to want to have a slice of pizza. It eventually came to this still life of like, there's a beer bottle, a mug, there was another cocktail, there was cigarettes.
What I've learned in this process is that I should leave art to the artist. And I'm a good reference point for stuff. I'm like, I think that looks cool. Let's go that direction. So Joe's been awesome with stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not really talented when it comes to actually creating this stuff.
The idea was a collaborative effort, then painted by me, so, which is just fine.
Let's start the bidding at $250, so I have my first bid. $250, right there in the back. Right here, 300 in the back. 300, 350, 300, 400. You got 400, 400, 400, 450. We're at $775, $800 right here. Oh, sold $800 right here in the front row. Thank you so much. We are moving right along. We've got a bunch of great pieces still left.
I think Wild Goose is a really important part of, you know, what helps bring art and what makes Columbus, you know, a really artistic city. We've started out there when we were really a young company, bringing our pizza truck out to Wild Goose. But I think for Columbus, it's just a really important thing to have, you know, a really great art scene. And I think we've done a really good job between all the art initiatives and all the incubators and everybody that really fights for the arts in Columbus that make this a really artistic city.
Why is it important to collaborate with people who aren't, I'm going to say, practicing artists? Because anybody, and literally, like if you pick up a paintbrush and you start putting paint on a piece of paper or a canvas, like you're doing the act of painting. However, if you allow this idea of skill to infiltrate your definition of good and not good, then you start getting into this idea of like, well, I'm not an artist, which I think is nonsense. Practicing artist, not practicing artist, anyone's creative. Collaboration is important. I don't think working in a vacuum is good for anyone in anything. You're not creating in a vacuum. There is no creating in a vacuum. The only way for ideas to transform is through that collaborative effort. Better ideas come from collaboration.
To learn more about Mikey's journey, check out latenightslice.com/about. In our last segment, we dive a little deeper into the art of Joe Leonard. He talked to the Broad and High team about his journey to be the artist he is today.
My work is very graphic driven. I look at a lot of old advertisement posters. I like to focus on shape. Shape-driven silhouettes, strong colors, outlines, just really emphasizing the shapes of whatever I'm painting. I could always draw, but it was never anything that I thought would be a big part of my life other than just like, oh, I can draw. I got a degree in finance. I worked in banking for a little bit. When I first left the bank, I worked as a butcher on a farm. And during that time, I started to take some fine art classes at Cleveland State and Kent State. Then COVID happened. I got laid off from my butchering job. And I was kind of in between thoughts of I can figure out just finding a different job. A friend of mine had just moved out to California, Orange County area, Costa Mesa. It's near Laguna Beach. Laguna College of Art and Design is the school that I ended up going to. And I had been building this portfolio over the past couple years with Cleveland State and Kent State. So I applied there. I got a decent scholarship, so I decided to go to that school. I've been trying to figure out like what the next step is in terms of career. And this will always be a part of my life. I'm never not going to paint. There are allegorical paintings that I like and that are narrative driven, that are done really well, but I care more so about the design work and how they're painting as opposed to whatever sort of message that they're trying to convey. I started to do these soft-boiled egg paintings, and I showed this to my uncle, and he was like, oh, my grandfather used to eat one of these every morning, you know? And I started to just like paint some pasta shapes. Somebody can just be like, oh, I remember that from whenever. I mean, there are some days where I don't want to do it, but I enjoy it more so than get frustrated with it, which is why I continue to do it. But I mean, it's hard. What I'm trying to do, what attracts, I guess, I'm trying to understand the things I like and why I like them on a deeper level than just like, I enjoyed that. The romantic idea of like being an artist is what drove me to go back to school for it. And now I'm kind of struggling with the idea of practicality and how much I want to dedicate to this. Yes, I enjoy it. Yes, I like having nice things around my apartment to look at. And I guess what drives me to make more paintings is I still see things and I think like, oh, that might be interesting to paint. It's still interesting. It's interesting to do. It's interesting to think of things in different ways, like seeing a shape, like, oh, that shape's fun. I should paint that. So yeah, I guess that drive hasn't stopped yet, even though like some days like I don't go and I paint and I do other things, you know. Will it stop? Maybe. It might. I don't know.
To see more of Joe's work, check him out online at mrjoeleonard.com. Well, that's our show. Remember, you can find all of our stories online at WOSU.org, as well as on our YouTube channel. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching.
Mecca, Dome, Buckeye Nation. It's time.
D-Buds, you beat.
Buckle up, buckle up. We going for a ride. Knuckle up, knuckle up. It's time for a fight. Buckle up, buckle up. This time it's mine. Buckle up, buckle up. Oh, we outside. Going to the top. 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 Still dope from the past to the present. If you hating, let me say it, man, please don't try that. Macadam, man, come along. I can see the future and we like that, like that. Sorry, little homies, y'all not like us. Got the whole city rockin', can't rock like us. It's the whole brotherhood and the family matter. Can't block, can't chop like us. It's us first, them, and it's them versus us. And they talk real big, but we call they bluff. See, everything war won't call no truce. Don't ever get it wrong, still got that juice. They spit on, kicked us, laughed and just us. Hail to the Buckeyes, we're the victors. Here's a gift in early Christmas. Going back up, I know you missed us. O-H-I-O O-H-I-O O-H-I-O.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, celebrating expression, fostering talent, and connecting the community to Columbus artists, performances, exhibitions, concerts, public art, and more at columbusmakesart.com.